a light of hope, the fire of commitment, and the warmth of community.
Welcome this morning to another Sunday here at River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. A day full of celebration, transition, commitment, recommitment, and the chance to make meaning in our lives and of our days. This togetherness that we find, even from afar, it matters. The ways in which we build strategies for connection are important. You are important here, and whoever you are, wherever you are. Whether you are grieving or celebrating, or perhaps a bit of both on this day, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Good morning. I'm Chris McCann, your new religious educator for children. It's such a joy to be together this morning. I would love now to share with you a story called Tiny the God by Becky Brooks. Once upon a time, there was a tiny little itty bitty, very small, tiny little God named Tiny. She lived her life hearing stories of all the big gods and, well, let's face it, she was jealous. She knew she needed to think of some kind of special spark of an idea that would make her existence meaningful. After watching humans for a long time, she hit upon something that just might work. Something to make people think, yeah, that Tiny has really got a good idea going. This was it. This was going to make her famous. Ready? Here it is. You are not alone. She took the form of a very light breeze, and in a voice so quiet each person heard it only in their mind, she said, "You are not alone. You are not alone." People loved it. It was perfect because who doesn't want to hear that? Pretty soon, Tiny was comforting people all over with, "You are not alone." Every evening, she took the form of the breeze and whispered it in people's minds. Until one day, she encountered someone who wasn't comforted at all. When Miriam heard Tiny's words in her mind, instead of feeling comforted, she felt agitated. Something was just kind of off about it. She kept saying it to herself over and over again. "You are not alone. You are not alone." She tossed and turned. She couldn't sleep. In the morning, she went to read the paper, and instead of skimming everything, she found herself drinking in every single story. She was only halfway through when she found herself crying. "I am not alone," she said. I am connected to every one of these people. They live in my town and my country and my world. They love their children like I love mine. They're scared sometimes, and so am I. They hurt like I hurt. I am not alone. I can help. Tiny was surprised. It hadn't occurred to her that someone might think of it that way. Tiny kept watch over Miriam to monitor this interesting development. Miriam and a coworker met online in a meeting and talked about a law they hoped the Senate would pass. And Tiny noticed when Miriam wrote a letter to her senator about it right away. She noticed that when Miriam turned in her grocery order, she bought a few extra things for her neighbor and left them with a colorful note on her porch. She noticed that Miriam had tears in her eyes when she joined in her congregation's worship on her computer and she heard her favorite hymn through the small speakers. Miriam got out her phone and made an extra donation to her congregation. She watched as Miriam wrote postcards to friends and family near and far, waved to the dog walkers who passed by her house, and strung up colorful lights in her living room window. She was reminded again when Miriam wore a mask whenever she ventured outside of the house. But most importantly for Tiny, she noticed when Miriam received a phone call one evening from a friend she hadn't heard from in a long while. His voice was shaking. "I'm having a hard time," he said. He started to tell her about his troubles, but he began to cry. Miriam got herself comfortable in her favorite chair. "Take your time. I'll stay on the line with you. You are not alone. I'm here. I am here." Tiny heard those words like an echo in her mind. You are not alone. I am here. You are not alone. I am here. I wonder if all of you can whisper those words to yourselves and each other. You are not alone. I am here. In that moment, Tiny knew that she was nothing without Miriam's hands and heart and spirit. And she knew that what she wanted, what the world needed more than anything, was what Miriam had learned to give. So Tiny went to work. Instead of just spending her evenings spreading the gospel of you are not alone, she spent her night times doing it too, and her mornings and afternoons. Pretty soon she was spending every moment doing it until she became the breeze itself. And that is why there are no paintings of Tiny, no busts or holy books, just a breeze, a low voice, and many, many helping hearts, loving hearts, and caring spirits. You can hear the echo if you listen closely. You are not alone. I am here. When water bottles are left in the desert for those who risk their lives to cross it, you are not alone. I am here. At the bedside of a dying man, you are not alone. I am here. In the jailhouse and in the sanctuary, you are not alone. I am here. Separate and together, you are not alone. I am here. May it be so.
This week, we're grateful to celebrate the ministry that our Lifespan Religious Educator, Gabrielle, has shared with us over the span of years. I hope you were able to join us at yesterday's festivities in her honor. I'm grateful that you're here today, with a good word brought to us, preached from her heart, all while we have the joy of meeting our new religious education professional, Chris McCann. Hellos and goodbyes are all wrapped up together in this season of transition, and we share them with each other today. Joy and woe are woven fine. Those words from William Blake get read at memorial services and celebrations of life here at River Road all the time. And so it is. What an astonishing and welcome gift this week to finally get some good news in our country. Right smack in the middle of Pride Month, when so many of us got out our rainbows to fly them with joy, the Supreme Court came through on June 15th with a long overdue ruling that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects LGBTQ people from workplace discrimination. Prior to this ruling this week, it was still legal in more than half of American states to fire someone for being gay, bisexual, or transgender. The work goes on, as always, but we will take the good news when we can get it. We will let in this moment of celebration with open hearts. This week is also, of course, Father's Day. It's a chance to lift up the caregivers of any gender, the ones who get us where we need to go emotionally, spiritually, literally, the ones who show up when we need them. Good on you, dads and parents, and everyone who is taking care of each other and keeping it together day by day. I lift up gratitude this morning for our successful congregational annual meeting last week and our dual commitments made as one body to congregation-wide deepening of our racial justice work and our efforts to show up for the climate crisis at home and in the world. We are in a process of saying what our values are and of doing something about it, and you will be seeing key action steps from our racial justice leaders in the very near future to help guide your personal commitments and our collective transformation. Every small victory in these days, every protest sign and moment of resolve is paired with yet more risk, more loss, more death for Black leaders and people of color. We are not at the end, but at a newly committed beginning, and we have arrived at that beginning together. Next week, we won't be hosting our regular Sunday morning Zoom party, but check your email, just as always, on Saturday for a link to our shared worship experience with the entire Unitarian Universalist Association coming to you live from the online UUA General Assembly this year. You'll see the very best that our association has to offer. And we will put ourselves next Sunday in the context of something ever so much larger than our one congregation. The following week, July 5th, brings a special opportunity to relate deeply over what it takes to dream a better dream for our country, moderated by me and shared with our friends at the UU Congregation of Fairfax. Welcome to summer worship, friends. It's going to be interesting, and I suspect quite beautiful, and I hope you join us for the whole journey. With all of it, the joy and the sorrow, the gratitude and the grace bouncing about in our heads and hearts on this day, some moment of peace and of blessing is important. Won't you take a good seat and a deep breath? Our words of meditation are from the Reverend Lindy Ramsden, a lifelong advocate for GLBT rights and environmental ethics, who rewrote the classic Christian blessings of the Beatitudes for all those justice builders in our time. And so, some blessings. Blessed are you who can question your own assumptions and listen with an open mind. You will receive new insights beyond your imagining. Blessed are you who suffer the attacks of others and stand up for what is right. You will not be alone, for your courage will inspire others to rise. Blessed are you who build relationships as well as justice. Even when you lose, you will have strengthened the foundations of your community. Blessed are you who take delight in people. You will not be bored in meetings. Blessed are you who agitate the placid waters of complacency. You will create waves in the inertia of privilege and will know the thrill of riding the surf of change. Blessed are you who lead with enthusiasm and confidence, resisting the temptation to shame the apathetic or the self-absorbed. You will inspire curiosity and hope in others. Blessed are you who play as well as work. You will have more fun, build more energy, and will draw the powers of the impish to your righteous cause. Blessed are you who offer thanks and praise fivefold for every critique. Your children will want to visit you after they are grown. People will want to serve on your committees, and friends will be interested in your opinions. Blessed are you who study the rhythms of history. You will have knowledge with which to shape the future. Blessed are you who work in coalition rather than in principled isolation. You will meet great people, learn things you didn't realize you needed to know, and have partners for the journey where you are in the lead or you are in great need. Blessed are you who volunteer to be secretary and take good minutes. Your words will become history. Blessed are you who discover, train, and encourage young leaders. You will see your work expand and grow beyond your own time and talent. Blessed are you who can change your mind. You are still alive. Blessed are you who will not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. You will see progress in your lifetime. Blessed are you with an active spiritual life. You will find perspective and comfort in times of loss and will rise without cynicism to meet the challenges of a new day. Blessed are you who live from a place of gratitude, where you will know the meaning of life. Amen. And blessed be indeed.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
The Unitarian Universalist Bridging Ceremony is a rite of passage where we celebrate our high school seniors. We honor what they have brought to our community and send them forth into the world with the strength and values that Unitarian Universalism and this congregation have given them. We realize this isn't the way anyone thought bridging was going to go this year. Even so, today we have some amazing River Road youth who are making this transition. We have given you opportunities to explore your UU faith and tools to put that faith into action. We encourage you to seek UU connections and the company of other UU young adults wherever you may go. And of course, you always have a spiritual home here at River Road. The seniors have chosen some wonderful people to bless them on their journey.
I'm Neil Johnston, and I represent your L teachers, Lisa Orange, Tara Kennedy, Glenn Papel, and myself. We have served you by guiding you through the Our Whole Lives program for most of your 8th grade year. Some of us had taught L before. For me, at least, it was totally new. I think I can speak for all of us when I say it was, without a doubt, one of the most interesting and rewarding things I have ever done, thanks in large part to the positive participation and maturity of all of you. We tried to give you a safe space and a supportive, welcoming group to think about, learn about, and talk about all aspects of intimate relationships and healthy sexuality, to prepare you to be safe, supportive, and loving partners, allies, and friends. We hope that you remember the acceptance and support that you felt from your fellow AL participants, and always find the same whenever you most need it, whether here at River Road or wherever your adult lives take you. We bless you now with what wisdom we were able to impart to you and our wishes for your long, healthy, safe, and fulfilling relationships as you move into adulthood.
Hey, I'm Doran, and I represent your youth advisors through the years. We have served you by being there on the many occasions when adult supervision was legally required, and many more times when it was simply our joy to hang with you. We try to give you a place to find answers or simply ask the big questions. We hope you remember that if you do find the answers, please to share with our congregation. We bless you now with our wonder and awe for all that you may do in and for this world.
My name is Nate Hollingsworth, and I represent your fellow members of youth group, as well as those random kids a few years younger than you in RE that didn't seem to go away. We have served you by being your accomplices in whatever crazy situations, whenever you needed somebody to tag along with, that were for the most part following the law. Whether that was staying up way too late playing that co-op mobile game Space Team, or watching Captain America Winter Soldier for the third time, came in one night in the middle school cabin at the retreat. We have tried to give you a place that you can feel free to say anything you needed to say within reason. We hope that you will not forget us or the things we've done together, as tempting as it might be to forget at some of them. We bless you now with the worship cloth that is in every youth member, past and present.
My name is Anna Roig, and I represent the young adults. We have served you by offering you a safe place to grow. We have tried to give you guidance that will help you as you move forward in life. We hope that you will continue to foster relationships with other UU young adults as you transition into adulthood. We bless you now with the assurance that we will continue to support and nurture you in the future.
I am honored to present to you our graduating seniors. Thank you to everyone in this congregation who has helped them to grow as UUs and as amazing human beings. They'll give us a few brief words about what they've received from River Road in their time with us.
Hello, my name is Nate Olson. River Road has always given me a home and a community that supports me, from my time in RE all the way through youth group. Even though recently I've taken to sleeping in on Sunday mornings more often than not, and next year I'll be heading off to college, I know I will always be welcome at River Road, and I'll never forget the many memories I made here.
Greetings, my name is Neil Chopra. Growing up in an environment like River Road was really great, and even when I left the state for the end of high school, my mother still made sure I knew that there was a community back home that truly supported me. Honestly, I have very few memories that date back before junior year, but maybe that's a good thing because any really bad ones would have stuck out, so that's a win. Thank you, River Road, for those both younger and older, for supporting me through all my adventures and endeavors that I chose to embark on.
Hi, my name is Prem Grover, and I started at River Road somewhat begrudgingly when I was maybe 9, after my mother had discovered it. And I must say that it was really an honor to spend an almost decade of my life with such a community of learning, love, and compassion. And I thank everyone for that.
As a symbol of taking our UU faith into the world, River Road has a tradition of giving each senior their own chalice. May your light shine strong in this world.
On behalf of your ministers and all those who have served you on the staff and ministry team over the years, I share a blessing from the Reverend Christine Robinson. Divine Spirit of our comings and our goings, bless those who go forth and bless those who stay. May you who dare new adventures be safe and challenged, healthy and hopeful. May you who remain know satisfaction in your own deep calling. May you who depart for new homes find new loves, new cares, always remembering the love that you have known here. May we all be blessed in our comings and our goings. And may we know as we depart that the same sun does shine on us all, wherever we may be. Amen.
We give in so many ways. Gifts of time, of talent, of treasure, of all the dedication that we have to muster to what we care about most. I hope you will give to this, our beloved community, made whole by all that we share with it, now and every single day. Thank you.
When I was a child each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I went to Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine, and I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. Holy water was rare at best. It barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, having second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, having second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Back when the earth was new and heaven just a whisper, Back when the names of things hadn't had time to stick, the world called and I answered. Back when everything was still to come, luck leaked out everywhere. I gave my promise to the world, and the world followed me here. I only quibble with the one line of Rita Dove's poem Testimonial, and that no one followed me here. I followed you. Retiring, like almost anything in a pandemic, is nothing like I expected. But I am grateful for the privilege to speak with you and say goodbye. On the eve of my retirement from 30 and a half years of being a professional religious educator, the best life work anyone can have, here are the 10 wisdoms I wrote down for my 20-month-old granddaughter. Dear Charlotte, as Tiny the God proclaims in Our Time for All Ages today, we are not alone. More singularly, you are not alone ever. You never will be. When you feel like you are, just give me a call or send me a text or an Instagram or whatever comes next. And for any child of any age listening today, you too can call your grandparents. That's what we were invented for. And if you can't for whatever reason, you can call Beth or Chris or Nancy or Amanda. You can call Cliff and Shui, and even if you aren't in the choir. And if they're all on the phone, we have backups beyond them. Diana, Sherry, Mandy, Jessie, Emily, Kamini, Nan, Anna, Noah, Mr. Han, and Luz. They are all wonderful and marvelous and generous and kind and wise. Just call them. They're always here for you, even if you don't count yourself a river roader. Number 2. Everything is holy now, as Peter Mayer writes and Naomi beautifully rendered. It always has been and always will be. When your great-grandfather died, the days that followed were so stark, as if the contrast on a monitor were turned too high. Every breeze felt like a pinprick. Everything had meaning, everything was special because it was no longer available to Albert. Everything was holy then and since then. Sorrow enhances our lives like that. I live with what others consider a burden, epilepsy surfacing as an adult whose infrequent seizures can stop my heart. Every night since the one I had when I was pregnant with your mother, your grandfather or Baba turns off the bedroom light saying, "Good night, see you in the morning light," and every time I reply, "I hope so." It is the holiest moment of my day. I wish for you some moment every day that reminds you how wonderful it is to be alive. Number 3. And it turns out, and is surprising to no one, that the most special child in all the world is you, Charlotte, except for every other child in the world. I have come to work these long days knowing that in my heart, soul, and every part of my body. You are like the children here this morning, but so too are you like the ones who live in Palestine or on our southern border. Your experiences are vastly dissimilar, but you all need food, good health care, free places to run, forests to explore, schools to attend, oceans to swim in, books to read, causes to fight for, and adults who love you. You are all our children, even when we don't act on it or know how. And though, Charlotte, you have an enviable group of related persons that love you, you, like all the children in the whole wide world, need another group of companions dedicated to figuring out what is important in life and how to create more justice and fairness. You need companions to remind you every now and again that because you were born dancing stars, the light you have does not belong to you alone. The world needs it too. Number 4, choose a story of your beginning. Charlotte, at 20 months, you are coming to realize you are a separate being from your parents, and it's pretty scary when they leave the room. It will pass, but it comes back again and again and again. Maybe because separation replicates the story of the beginning of all that is. people, animals, trees, oceans, even those rocks you pick up wherever you go that show up later in bed or your pockets or the car seat. There are many versions of this story. One includes God and Adam and Eve. Another has a great tortoise and dirt. Another, an egg, one, brothers. In all these stories, there's always the part about trying to make it home, often back to where we started together to be one, where there is no I, no we, just home. This longing lasts forever, and what's important about it is that it reminds us we are connected to something bigger than ourselves. Number 5, locate yourself, also known as do identity work, and use it to help you learn about the world and then relish learning about other places. Look for what people haven't told you. I am a white, straight woman born of working class sensibility, but influenced by my parents' deep, wide, and radical intellectual curiosity that obscured some of the working class practices, but not entirely. As far as church says it differently, he, for instance, has no aptitude for being gay, but what he has cultivated is an aptitude for growing beyond the human territory in which he was born. He can visit other human lands, awaken to the beauty of difference, and rejoice in dissimilarity, becoming more secure in his own distinctiveness, and less threatened by the distinctiveness of others. By the way, in case I haven't mentioned it yet, being part of a congregation is a great place to do this. Number 6, don't waste storms. There will be storms all along the way. They all won't be on top of each other like the 5 we are in now, 6 if that story about alien communications turns out to be true. Once the storm is over, Murakami writes in Kafka on the Shore, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. This week, you went to your first protest. I wish for you and all the other children out there to attend so many that you cannot count. It will be a sign that your spirits are strong at recognizing the possibility that exists in storms. Number 7, the time you live in is the best time. It is always the best of times and the worst of times, and Annie Dillard reminds us of this in another way. There is no one here but us chickens, and so it always has been. A people busy and powerful, knowledgeable, ambivalent, important, fearful, and self-aware. A people who scheme, promote, deceive, and conquer, who play and pray for their loved ones and long to end human misery. In any instant, the sacred may wipe you with a finger, and it does, allowing you to avail yourself of the power to love your enemies, accept failure, or grieve. It is all there, waiting to be born. On the day you were born, Charlotte, well, that day will always be one of my best days. But a few days ago, George Floyd's young daughter called all of us to change the whole world in her father's name, and so we must set about it. It's damn hard work, but there is no better day than today. Number 8, give yourself away to something every now and again. Way back in 1997, when your grandfather received his MFA, the convocation speaker, Dr. Shea, shared his story about his granddaughter. They were all at the pumpkin patch, and his granddaughter was on the lookout for a real Cinderella pumpkin. After rows and rows, his granddaughter stopped. The owners had erected a scarecrow display, a man and a woman with straw innards and faces painted on graying pillowcases, dressed in red gingham and blue jeans. The straw man was in pretty good shape, but the farmer woman, well, she was bent in the middle and again at the neck. She was broken, really. Something had gotten into her and pulled out some of her straw. His granddaughter stopped and stared and then walked over to the straw woman who was bent over a bale of hay, and she sat, but not before his granddaughter put her arm around that woman and with her hand stroked the woman's straw arm over and over. She never spoke, but after a long and cold time, she moved on without a word. He told us that story because he said he believed on that day his granddaughter gave her whole life away. Charlotte, 20 years from now, when you are graduating from college or a boot camp or AmeriCorps or whatever, this moment will come to you, probably not for the first time, but it will be someone who is alive, who needs you, or a system that needs dismantling, and someone will ask you to give something away. I hope, Charlotte, that when faced with human need and possibility, the heart of you will give away the good of you, which is how Dr. Shea described that moment. I hope you will choose the best of you more often than not. I have done that in my life and work, and I carry some regret that your mother lost a bit of me to this life's work, as did your grandfather and your great-grandmother. I have not been the best friend for a lot of the time to a lot of people, and I carry some guilt in that too. I may not have gotten the balance right, but I know the blessings of giving away yourself to something. Number 9, thank everyone, especially people who aren't expecting to be thanked, but also those that are expecting it. It hurts not to be recognized. Thank you all very much. Number 10, find your thread. Do you know that to make this beautiful quilted hanging behind me, a rough guesstimate puts the thread count at 1,500 feet of thread? That's a lot of thread. William Stafford has a poem about thread. It goes, there's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you can do stops time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. I was lucky through happenstance and my own agency to find my thread early on. I felt my thread before I knew how to articulate it, that every night a child is born is a holy night. Time has unfolded, and it is time for me to go. I still have the thread. You all are part of it. And Charlotte and I, we will find another place to sew and help bind the world together. And I know you will too. With all my love, Gigi, or Master G, as my colleagues sometimes call me. Amen.
As we extinguish this chalice, we invite you to repeat after us. We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.